I'm loving my new second screen. It's like a big magic screen. Magic screen? You like it? No, magic screen reminds me of Pee Wee Herman. Oh, we just lost him. What a legend. Hey, he was a great entertainer, Steph. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his work, but oh yeah. Oh, of course, yeah, magic word. Yeah, of course you've heard of it. Oh yeah. Ah, that is a good idea. We should do that during the show. We should just do the freak out thing, like whenever a magic word is said. Oh, that's good. Yeah, we won't tell Kyle what the word is, but we'll just freak out. And then he'll be like, what are you guys doing? Why you guys Ramses loves it. Let's do it. What a great way. What a great thing to do on show number 50 of Court Cousins coming up now.
Welcome everybody to Court Cousins episode 50. 50, baby. Half 100. Let's go. Half dollar. My name is Kyle. I'm joined as always by my dashing, the handsome, the ever witty Jason the Piché. It's an exciting show, ladies and gentlemen. Some new things are happening. We're going to check in with each other. We care how we're doing. Check in with your loved ones in the psychological check-in. We are going to hear what the people are saying in the social media roundup. Piché is going to introduce us to something new, a new segment, This or That, and then a special prize offer from Piché. Piché, I feel like this is a very you episode. Don't go anywhere, you scallywags, you scoundrels. Stick around for the large ending. This has like some really nice Piché-ness to it, I think. As I was going through the show prep, I was saying, I'm getting a little insight into the mind of Piché in this one.
Well, we have a show title right there. Show 50 Piché-ness. Well, I was trying to do something special for show 50.
Yeah.
And I did go to, and it's escaping me now, but you'll know what I'm talking about. And I went to this site and I was like, who could I get? Who's affordable, right? Like Franz Wagner's on there. Maybe I can get him to, pay him to come on, say a quick little message, a little out of the price range.
Oh.
But if you search Orlando Magic, a bunch of people come up.
Yeah.
The cheapest one available was Steven Zimmerman, former first round pick, or I think first round pick or second round.
Yeah,
the Orlando Magic.
We
got never really panned out. I'm kind of amazed that he was on there, to be honest. I don't know how well known he is in certain circles, but I think it was like maybe $20. But I was still like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a big enough get for the show at $20. And also, is that going to be worth my $20? So I didn't do it, but I was thinking, I was like, how can we get to the next level? I know we tried to reach out to a couple of guests. The timing didn't work out. I wish there was a little bit more bells and whistles on this one, but there's definitely a lot of my brain matter in it. So that's the Piché-ness I think you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I feel like you had some gems come up in this one. I was feeling a little bit that way. Like I wanted to. I guess we're going right into the psychological check-in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, lead us off. Go ahead.
I was feeling definitely a little bit of, I want to do something special, but I was just I was up and down. All right, so I'll go right into my psychological check-in. My Cole is on a roller coaster. It's definitely been a little up and down. I love how this show came out, so I'm stoked about that. I've had some really nice times with the lady, but if I'm being honest, I've been a little up and down with it. I had a classic, I was a bitch in Boston recently, and just kind of being a big old baby Piché. I had my whole morning planned out. I normally wake up a little bit earlier. I was going to sneak out of the apartment where we were staying with a friend and have some reading, chill. And then the lady wakes up right as I'm going, and then we're just doing some other shit. We're going to downtown Cambridge, which I knew at that time wasn't going to be open. It was going to suck. That happened. All right. But still, I was letting it be known that I was upset. I was being kind of mean. It created a conflict, and it didn't need to happen. So we talked about it, and now I feel a little bit better. So we're on the up. That's what I'm saying. The roller coaster, man. The roller coaster ride, man.
You got a tough life, man.
No, these are first world problems for sure, man. I'm like, I don't want to go to Cambridge. Dude, what the deeper thing is, though, is because I'm an only child and I'm getting towards marriage now. Like, I'm going to pop the question. I think some of my fears of not being alone and not having kind of almost total freedom in a way is weighing on me, because as an only child, you kind of gotta fit in where you get in. You're on the move, but you're always you're on your own a lot too. As blessed as we are to have friends, so I think I'm a little bit scared of that. I think
you're not on your own now. Last week you were complaining about getting dragged to a party, so I mean, you're not making your own decisions. So.
No, that's true, and that's the thing. No, because I love to be alone. Like I've been in the woods a lot lately, and that's been helping me, like not be on the roller coaster. But yeah, man, life is I think I overcomplicate life, right? When I hear myself talk out loud right now, it definitely fucking helps. So shout out to you, second cousins. How you doing, Piché?
That's why we do this thing, man. You gotta get that stuff out sometimes.
For real. How you doing, Piché, for the psychological check-in?
I selected this picture here of Cole Anthony high-fiving Franz Wagner coming off the court. I recently was a part of the team volleyball thing we did at the Dallas Stars, and I wore our team color was blue, suggested by me because I knew I had a ton of blue to choose from. So I wore my Franz Wagner shirt, much like this, to that event. And although we lost our first 2 games of volleyball, which was the most intense volleyball I've ever been a part of, by the way, because down here in the South, they play volleyball year round. And I'm used to coming from a place where you might get on the beach and play maybe once or twice a year. So I was a little out of my element. But once those games were over, we went and played some hoop. And that's where I started to shine. That's where things were happening. And dishing out dimes and feeling good. And besides that event, and other things going on at work, I'm just feeling a lot of the teamwork love. Even though I live in my apartment alone and I'm kind of alone, like you were saying, you can get too much alone time, but at work, I don't feel alone. And at work, if I've ever felt alone, that's when I've hated working there. And I don't have any of that going on. There's definitely teamwork going on. If there's a big job to do or something that could be a pain in the ass, you look around and everyone else is there. The other day I sent out like an APB, like, hey, if anyone can come help with this. Next thing I know, I had 10 guys there to help me do a job that probably needed 3 or 4. And I was like, but hey,
that's a good feeling.
It was nice to know people were going to jump that quickly, when we needed a hand doing something. So I haven't always had that everywhere I've gone. And so it is very nice to have it.
Wow. Sounds like you're in a great situation, man. I'm happy for you. That's great. Well, part of our team is all the second cousins, the all-stars and second cousins over on the Patreon, all the folks over on Patreon who are helping, provide some of the infrastructure to make this show go all the time. Special shout out to all the all-stars and second cousins on there. Magic Player History, Bolby the Dawn, Paolo and Franz's Warmth, Andy, Dylan Holden, Drum, Rafael Perez, Breadhead, Matthew Bell, Dan Young, Gloria and Damien, Yachty, and I want to do a special shout out to my boy Connor, first patron. That's how much of a homie he is. Second cousin, just had a baby. So Adelaide, welcome to the world. Love you, Connor. Thank you for all the support, man. You're the fucking best. And more good news. It just keeps on coming, Piché. As part of that community, we do jersey giveaways and all types of other giveaways. This show's winner is Christopher Bradford. Congrats, homie. Okay. All right. Now it is time, Piché, when we scour the...
Good screaming, everybody.
What the fuck? What is happening, Piché?
We'll explain that
just took over? What just happened, Piché?
We'll explain that in a minute here with our first entry of the day. Non-basketball, but definitely from the entertainment time. Paul Rubens, actor best known as Wee Herman, passed away at the age of 70. Yeah, you may have heard about some things he did in a movie theater, but in an adult movie theater, I don't think we expect the seats next to us to be clean. Am I right?
I mean, I've seen weirder shit.
But speaking of weird, Pee-wee was a weird guy. Pee-wee's Playhouse was a big part of my childhood, laughing it up and having fun with Cherry and Magic Screen and Lawrence Fishburne coming in as a cowboy. I mean, that show was insane, but it was a lot of fun. And I remember doing the Pee Wee Herman dance on our aunt's diving board a lot before I would dive in, kind of doing the,
Oh,
and he
man.
had Pee Wee's, he had a couple of movies come out and like, he's just a quirky guy. And sometimes he'd make appearances just as Pee Wee Herman. I remember one time he was at WWE and he hosted Monday Night Raw as Pee Wee. It was ridiculous. Like the guy he did a lot of different weird things that you wouldn't think of. But if you Google him, there's a whole bunch of videos you can see. I don't know if it translates much to being as funny now as it was then. Then there was nothing else like it around. There wasn't YouTube with everybody making videos in their basement. And it just,
yeah.
But at the time, it was cutting edge and it was zany and it was bananas and everybody loved it. So I'd say he'll be missed, but I don't think he's Pee-weed in a while. Are you familiar with Pee Wee and his work, or is this all news to you? I mean, the shout out we did is Steph and I decided that we're going to add the magic word to the show. We decided today that it's scour, because we wanted to pick a word. You always using these kind of big or different words that make people on the show get out of thesaurus and look things up. And we thought, instead of just saying look for stuff, he always says scour. So anytime we hear that word on the show today, we're going to go off with, there'd always be a little bit of a celebration and a yelling whenever someone said whatever.
I remember that. I remember that vaguely. I was much younger, but I vaguely remember that. An icon, respect your work, sir. And that's all of it, I've got a crazy story, but you can ask me about that another time. When you see me at Court Cousins Night, whenever we do that, I've got a better story about public nudity. I
don't think you're going to have to ask him about it. If you talk to him for about 5-10 minutes, he'll just get to
it. I'm going to put it on the Patreon, I'm going to put it on the Patreon. How about that? All right. Like that. Switch gears from like the completely zany. Well, maybe not actually. Let's stay in the same lane. From the completely zany to the completely zany, Piché. We have a tweet from the Six Man Show about Jonathan Isaac's recent shoe release, along with it, and a reply from Luke Jaleel saying, a player plagued by lower body injuries his entire career wearing experimental shoes. What could possibly go wrong? If only we had a recent reference point for this sort of thing. I love that. That encapsulated exactly my first reaction about this. There's all the other business implications and stuff that we're going to talk about with the lifestyle brand. But with this was on the court. No, man, I'm so excited to finally have you back as a part of this team. And then, no, what? Like, we've seen Zion blow through shoes. We've seen the ball sneakers that stunk and were, probably horrible for Lonzo. Now, like this, why this year? He must be really confident, man. He must be really confident because this is a make it or break it year for him in his career. I mean, someone will give him another chance, but this is a difference in a lot of money for him and his family.
Well, I know you've brought the video here to the show, which I have not seen yet, so I'd like to scour. This looks like if the Olympic Committee decided to create a airline, that's what their logo would look like. Unitas. Fly Unitas. I'm going to reach back for click it in. I'm buckling up because I'm tired of this guy and I'm ready to fly off. I'm tired of this dude. I know only 50% of this show wants him back on the court. I didn't want him back before. I definitely don't want him back now. The hubris. I'm using one of your big words. It's not that big, but it's just a different word. The hubris on this gentleman to think that you are anybody to lead an apparel style. The average NBA fan doesn't know who you fucking are. I mean, who do you think you are selling a shoe? You played 11 games in the past, 3 or 4 years? You aren't out there, people. People don't know you. How are you going to be the lead guy on this? Like, get another dude to be the lead face.
Yeah.
And then, as you've already mentioned in the beginning, you're a guy that has all these issues with injury, and you're going to take the chance on an unproven shoe brand. That's dicey at best. If you get hurt at all, guess who gets blamed? The shoe company. Like it's putting out something that's very weird, and I get the concept, but like when I buy a pair of Adidas shoes, it doesn't mean that I love everybody who works for or owns Adidas. It just means I wanted a nice pair of shoes and I bought them, or I liked this jersey and it has a Nike swoosh on. It doesn't mean I love Nike and everything they do. So I don't know why he's making that argument here. I feel like he's insane. I feel like he's gone off the handle, and he just can't be stopped. Like, he's an insane person to me. I don't want him playing again for the Orlando Magic. Sadly, I know he will. I cannot stand him. He's a distraction. He's weird. He shows up on Fox News and talks about our women's soccer team not being patriotic. Who the fuck are you to say they're not patriotic? Like, what? It's none of your business. Just stay out of it, dude. Like, he's purposefully keeping himself in the media in some way because he can't stay on the basketball court long enough to be known there. And that's just kind of sad because it feels like he's being used a little bit by the right side and being used to try to just keep his name relevant. And it's like, bro, you want to do that stuff? That's fine. But do not drag the Orlando Magic or any of your possible teammates or any of that kind of stuff. It's not a good look. It's a distraction. It's not what we need. Our team's on the way up. We're young. We're up and coming. We're doing good stuff. And this just feels like we're getting bogged down by this guy and his off-court stuff. And it's just, it's dumb, man.
Whoa, wow, Beach. That was hilarious. And I agree and I disagree with some of the things you said, of course. Right. I definitely share your frustration. I think it's extremely brilliant what he's doing from like creating this brand, man. You're right. As a basketball brand, it won't have a lot of credibility, but the people that he's selling it to don't necessarily care about basketball. That's what he's talking about. You know, the people that he's trying to appeal to. I mean, it just seems, it seems a little like pandering to me, and I'm not above a pander. I mean, we did, how many Kai Soto videos did we do? We did three too many than we should have done. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not above a pander, but it just seems a little crazy to unite it with like family, faith, and freedom. You know, like pandering faith and then pandering freedom, when it seems like wasn't that why people were kneeling, was for freedom.
Well, it's like, look, I like that he is using his freedom of speech. So don't think that I don't like that he's talking about whatever he wants to talk about. Go ahead, say whatever you want. When you're tied to something else, right? Like, you're tied to an organization or other people, right? Like if you're in a band and one guy says something, well, now everyone looks at the band and now you're fucking up the whole band's earnings because they don't like the one guy and his thoughts. So sometimes you kind of just have to be a little reserved with your thoughts and not share them. So like if he wasn't a part of an NBA team or a franchise and is saying all this stuff, do your thing, you know, live your life. Yeah, I welcome you enjoying that freedom. And you know what? There's like 25% of the stuff J.I. says that I'm like, all right. You know, so it's not all a swing and a miss from him, but it's just like, it's weird to be putting that much emphasis on yourself when you're part of a larger team. And in no way are you like, you know, our team's leader, you know, on or off the court. So it's kind of like weird that now people are going to start to see this stuff from you and it'd be like, oh, he plays for the Magic? And it'd be like, I don't want that rub or associated with us at all. But maybe I'm different on that. I don't know. Maybe the people of Florida feel like they're okay with him and what he does. But I'm over it. I've been over it for a while. This is, for me, the straw that has completely broken it. I'm just not into it. It's upsetting.
So, I mean, okay, well then, what are you gonna do when he comes back and plays for the team? You're still gonna be able to root for him and enjoy the games and the play.
Yeah, I'll still root for us to win, but I don't want him to score points or play well. Just rather him be gone.
Oh, Piché is petty. Piché is petty today.
It's not a petty thing. I just don't want him to be around the team unless he's gonna chill out on some of that stuff. We all have things we may want to say. Look, I've had these thoughts about J.I. for a long time, and I didn't say them because he's part of our team and we're part of the show. So I try to be like, all right. But, you know, you can only be pushed so far before finally you're going to say something. But like, you know, where I work, or where you work at a school. If you had an interview with the media and you said all kinds of stuff, now the school, people think everyone in the school thinks like you, right? Because you kind of are speaking for yourself, but they associate it with the school that you're working for. You have to have a little bit of that knowledge inside you and realize, is the attention I'm bringing to the guys around me, the team, the organization, is that good for them? Should I maybe wait on this? Because he can do this whenever. He could have done this when he retired, and it might have had more weight and gravitas to me if you do that after your playing career than trying to do it now, where it seems like you're really pandering and kind of grabbing people from different areas to try to get money for something, and trying to pretend that you're holier than thou to be able to say, well, yeah, we're doing everything correct here. Our organization is nice and just. And, we don't know where all your shoes are made. They could be made by kids in Indonesia somewhere that are too young, but I don't know. I don't want to be thinking about all of this stuff. This shouldn't be a 15-minute segment on our program right now. And it wouldn't be if this guy wasn't part of our team. That's kind of my point.
I think I'm going to edit it down, but this is what I want. This is what I did want. This is what I wanted to say originally, and this is what we talked about last night too in the show prep. I remember now. Yay! Thanks, Mary Jane. I believe that when J.I. stood, he did it from a deep sense of belief and connection, and with his message. And I believe that was really genuine. And I might disagree with it, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I still respect that. I thought that was pure. I thought it was pure for sure. But now I don't believe all of this other stuff. The brand, it seems too contrived. It's from a business sense, it's savvy as all fuck. I mean, it's savvy as all get out, right? He's capitalizing on being an NBA player right now. Piché, you brought up the point that he's not on the floor. Any self-respecting NBA fan is gonna kind of scoff at Jonathan Isaac merch, athletic apparel. It's a joke almost, but that's not who he's selling it to, and it's a huge market who he's going to sell it to. People that align with this idea of family, faith, and freedom, and believe whatever you may. It's definitely a political orientation. It's so that's cool. That you can't get mad at the man for getting a bag, But as a Magic fan, it is annoying. As a Magic fan, it's annoying. That's like to your point. Like, I'm not mad at him for creating what could be a extremely profitable apparel line right now. Like, this could become huge for him and his family. It could be worth way, way more than anything you can make in basketball. It could.
Yeah, I mean, get that bag, but just don't have it be a part of what we're doing. If he did it after he was done, I think I'd be way more okay with it. But it just seems like he's always trying to make that. Like you said, you made a great point about like when he did the stand thing, regardless of how you felt about it, I was kind of like, whatever, he's a man of conviction. I respect that. Do your thing. But then he wrote a book about it.
Yeah, then it's a
book. Maybe you shouldn't. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now you're trying to
speaking
profit doing this stuff. So yeah. And then that's when he started to make me angry, and it's kind of been, steamrolling from there. So.
Okay. So next, what is next, Piché? How can we go from that to anything?
Well, that's it. The show's over. Show 50.
It's all about J.I.'s shoes and new clothing brand.
And Wee Herman. Well, I think we can still talk about a particular item of clothing that we're partial to, which would be the jerseys.
Okay.
A USA jersey, number 8 for Paolo Banchero. We're big in the jersey world. Are you gonna pop out for some shills for the 8? And what is the? You have questions on the 8? What's going on with the number here?
This is how broke I am right now, Piché, after getting an engagement ring. I hadn't even thought about buying a jersey. And yes, I definitely, now that you say it out loud, of course I want a Paolo USA jersey. That would be sick. It's been a long time since we as Orlando Magic fans have had guys on the USA team. So probably I don't even know who would have been last. Dwight Howard? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
Dwight. It's got to be Dwight.
Definitely want to cop this. The 8, I was trying to do a little investigation. I'm not sure because Mikal Bridges is wearing 5. So, I said, oh, that's why, because Mikal is more of a vet. And then you told me that Mikal doesn't wear 5 on his team. So I have no idea what kind of number of gymnastics are happening. Or
I think Mikhail is 25, but so I guess the 5 is part of it.
okay.
But hey, the USA numbers have always been weird. Go back to the Dream Team; they had numbers like 1 through 15, so they always just go with those. Those are your number options. Like they don't, for some reason, won't let them wear like 33, 23.
Yeah.
So it's just like the first number. So I think everyone's number kind of gets just messed up. So I'm sure this was like a number his, mom wore or something like that at one point. So he just.
That's so sentimental. That's nice, Piché.
I mean, that's what I'd do. I'd think, right? Wouldn't you? Just you got to. If you can't get your number, then you go for like someone else's number.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's usually what's going on. Let's get mad at other people and let's defend some of our players for a second.
Yes.
With this next one from All Sports Culture, who gives us the tiers of the NBA starting point guards.
This is
the disrespect is legendary here. Because not only is our guy Markelle Fultz on the bottom, but he's in the middle. He's not even one of the cornerstones of the bottom. He's dead center. You could pull him out of there and that thing would stay standing. And that is just disrespect all the way.
You're right.
But like I said last show, he does need to have that breakout season for us to get over the hump, right? We know who Franz is. We know who Paolo is. Those guys can get better, but you can only get so much better. He's the guy who I think needs to really make that big jump for us to be a solid playoff contender. Maybe have him be in the conversation for MVP or for All-Star, not necessarily in the game, but be an option on the ballot that other people might consider. And as you can see, he's clearly not an option at this point because they have him this low down there with some other guys that I honestly couldn't have named when I first looked at it. So I think it's really disrespectful. I'm not sure who puts these things together. But to have him 2 tiers below Cade Cunningham, who's been in the league for a hot second and is a good player, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's at least comparable to his tier. even the casual fan would have to agree. The Markelle you've seen over the last year and a half doesn't belong on that bottom tier. So I don't know what they're watching.
No, Piché, this is absurd. I mean, they will eat crow. Who is this that put this out? All Sports Culture. You will eat crow on this. You will regret the day that you put this dumb little pyramid out, and you'll be shamed by all your friends and family because you didn't see Markelle coming. But it's okay. It's okay. You're not alone. There's a lot of other people out there that don't see Markelle coming. And I want you to do, Mr. and Mrs. or they, them, All Sports Culture. This is what I want you to do. I want you to keep sleeping. Shh. Just go to bed. Just go right down to sleep there. And get comfortable. Because Markelle Fultz, most improved player, Piché, we trumpeted this last year. This guy is top 5% in assist percentage in terms of he's one of the top 5% of assisting on made baskets. That sounds like a point guard to me. That sounds like a top tier guy. This is an uber facilitator. We were running the campaign last year, and it got derailed when he bumped his toe eating a Twinkie, all right, walking around his home. That's going to happen. That didn't happen, but I feel like I am getting that out into the zeitgeist. I just say that enough, and I just want it to become true, like in the future. I want to run into someone, and they're like, man, dude, yeah, now that Markelle's an all-star, you remember that first year? He would have been most improved, banged his thumb. Yeah, that's what I want. That didn't happen. I don't actually know how he did. But if he wasn't out those first 20 games or what have you, he could have been in that conversation. So if he has a healthy season this year, it is completely in the running for Markelle. I expect a huge jump. In terms of the table, yeah, I mean, definitely above Derek White. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, let's stop with this. People love LaMelo Ball so much. Russell Westbrook hasn't been relevant for like 6 years. Come on, All Sports Culture. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's a little weird. Some of the guys they even selected to represent their team as the point guard, I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're the point guard. But yeah, and I don't know if I need to disrespect anybody else on this list by saying they need to move up or down, which goes against who I am.
I kind for it.
It goes against who I am. Normally I would do that, but I'll let you do that one. I just think that at the end of the day, when they look back at this one, it won't age well, and they'll think, we should have had Markelle in that at least tier 4. And I think if he gets in tier 3 or 4, that's the jump we need.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, some off Magic things. This is some more general thing, and I think this is what I meant by. Okay.
This involves the Magic, and
yes.
I kind of almost already know this answer from you, but I saw this post on. We'll talk about it in a minute, but the formerly known as Twitter, before I left it for good, and it was asking you. You have 10 championships. This is a hypothetical, and you know how much I love those.
You normally don't, but this is what I was saying. This is your touch.
Fun. This is fun. So it says you have to allocate 10 championships or titles among your favorite teams or athletes, but I'm not an athlete guy. You got to be teams.
Oh, okay.
For the next, I guess if you wanted to include golf or one of those other mid-range wannabe sports like motorsports or something, fine. But like favorite teams or athletes for the next 5 years, you have 10 championships to allocate. How do you break it up? I know you're thinking about yours right now.
Talk about yours right now.
I know 5 of them are already going.
Walk me through your list, because I thought yours was interesting. Go for it. Go for that.
Yeah. Well, mine, I've got 4 for the Buffalo Bills in a row. I think everybody gets that. We made the Super Bowl 4 years in a row and lost. It would be nice to right that ship. And if I had the ability to do the bewitched nose twinkle and get things to happen, I want 4 championships in a row for Buffalo to just stick it up everybody's butt. Because 4 Super Bowls in a row is still impressive that they got there. Then I've got 2 for our Orlando Magic, because these are my only 2 teams that don't have a championship at all. So it'd be nice to get a couple for the Magic. I see them winning 2 within the next 10 years, with or without my nose waggle. But it would be nice to get 2 in the next 5 years. So I went 2 there. Then another cup for the Montreal Canadiens. Got to bring the cup back to Canada. It's been a long time since I've won it, which is the last time the Canadiens won it in '93. I'm old enough to remember that time, but got to get one back up there. Then, of course, one for the new team that I work for, the Dallas Stars, because your boy needs to get that ring. So I'm all about that. Then I've got one for the Denver Broncos, but after Russ leaves. I don't want Russ leaving. I don't want Russ getting one with the Denver Broncos. Not a fan of him either. CJI for guys on my teams that I don't like. There's a list building. And then I threw one on for the Milwaukee Brewers. He used to live in Milwaukee and went to a lot of Brewers games, lived right near Miller Park. And as it turns out, they don't have a championship either. So I'd love to see them get one. That would be a hell of a party there. Those guys tailgate for regular season games, for baseball games there. Milwaukee knows how to do it right. They deserve a championship. And the Bucks already got one, so I'm going to give my last one to the Brewers. But now I'm curious as to what list you're building over there, because I only know you like 2 teams. I know your basketball team, and I know your baseball team, and that's it.
Yeah.
So how you splitting up these 10 in 5 years? 10 in 5 years. So the Magic can only win 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm having problems filling out the list for sure, because I am a Magic fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Braves fan. And I guess if you had to pull my arm, I'm mostly a Canadiens fan because of you and the family.
Let's go.
Will they appear on the list? I don't really give a shit about. I guess it would make you happy. So that's kind of how I thought about this.
The Dallas Stars better be on there. You don't want me to get a ring? Come on now.
I did give one to the Vermont Lake Monsters, because I know you still have people over there, and that's where we're from. So, have some excitement for the family and funds in the Winooski area. I thought that would be nice. I got 2 for the Braves.
I forgot about college when I made it, and I felt bad afterwards.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I haven't. I'm going to put in UVM hockey. Give them 1.
All right. If you're using yours now, I don't feel so
I'm going to use UVM basketball for you. That was probably, I should have done that one. All right. So that's 3 right there. I want to give 2 more to the Braves. They've been playing great baseball, and I love it. It just makes Jake my best friend is a Mets and a Giants fan, so it makes him so sad when both the Braves and the Cowboys are winning. So I'm going to give them both 2. So I have plenty of shit to talk over him for the next, at least 5 or 6 years. His teams could still win, but I'm still that's a lot of shit talking. So that's 4, 7, and then I got to give at least 3. Wow, I'm actually giving them away now.
Yeah,
I wanted to give one to the Bridgeport Islanders, but I can't. I need the Magic to win at least 3. So Sorry, guys.
All right. See, it gets tough when you start breaking it down that way. But all right.
Yeah, no, I need 4. I need 4 for the Magic, so I'm going to take one away from the no, I'll take one away from the Braves. They've been winning a lot. All right, there it is. Welcome to Kyle's head.
Tough affair. All right.
This is what Peach, hold on, time out. This is what I mean when I say this is a little bit of a dip inside the Peachness and the dome of the Peach on this one. That post, like going into these next few, really was like, yes, this is.
There's not a lot going on in the Magic community right now.
Well, that's why I appreciate your sense of humor.
We did a tight 26 minutes on JI, so we rang that sponge out, I thought, but so you got to dig deeper. You got to find some other stuff in the summertime. So
yeah,
this next one I've got comes up, and it stuck out to me because it's University of Michigan, and we're the Orlando Wolverines. We have a ton of Michigan players, and it looks like this is what they're feeding their football players in this post from Second Take 20. The meals being served to recruits at the University of Michigan are forgettable. Also, it is unforgettable, but for all of the wrong reasons. How can an elite university in the United States be serving their D1 football recruits this junk? And you got a plate here with some chicken tendies on it, hot dog with nothing on it, a little sketchy, and some mac and cheese over there, and then one cookie. And this
person has a lot of willpower because those cafeteria cookies. Those cafeteria cookies, don't undersell those cafeteria cookies.
Slap.
This can't be right because they have such elite level of players, especially in the basketball and football program. It doesn't make any sense to me. Good luck. Good luck.
This to me, I think there was a buffet. I think better options were available. I think this was a lineman who'd done 2-a-days and was just like, hey man, I gotta get some of that mac and cheese. I'm gonna wipe the chicken fingers through it, which is a baller move. And he's just looking for some protein there, and he's not worried about health today. He's looking to put some stuff.
He's 18.
Some gas in the tank.
You don't need to be worried about health when you're 18. This was a balanced meal when I was 18.
They don't have a game coming up this Saturday. It's preseason.
Yeah. Put it on, young man.
But speaking of college, I wanted to get your thoughts on this one. This post from Hurdles, which estimates that they suggest that Reggie Bush would make between $4 million to $6 million annually with the new NIL rules, the next in line for aspiring college athletes. Yet the NCAA took away his Heisman Trophy because he accepted $300,000 under the table while USC made millions of dollars off his success. It's time to return him the trophy. What say you about this? I know this is if I want to pull on your heartstrings and get you to give Reggie Bush back that trophy, I'm going to ask the same question with something that you're very tight with, which is anyone who's in jail for Mary Jane related stuff that is now legal, right? Like those people should be.
This is not comparable, but yes, it is in a way.
Yes, it is. Give Reggie back.
The analogy works for sure, Pish. Yeah, I mean, I definitely. At this point, it seems silly that you wouldn't just do that now retroactively. Everyone was. We know that so many people were making money back then too. Just not everybody was getting caught. So
give UNLV back their shit too. Larry Johnson and the boys. That was a good team. We remember that team. I still know they won the championship that year just because you took it away from them. You know, it doesn't mean that we still remember it. We were there. I saw Reggie Bush lift that trophy. He had it at one point.
Yeah. It seems silly and petty. But Peach, maybe you like petty. You like him petty today?
I don't feel like it's petty. I just think that like now when you look at what some of these kids are making before they even get to college, which is good. I'm for
hell
this.
Yeah.
But like it should have been like that back then, and I understand they broke the rule back then. But haven't they suffered enough at this point by losing the trophy or losing those monies and things that they would have got? When you think about it, I think it's just some of our values have changed towards that stuff. So I think we should go back and start to rectify this stuff. We take down statues of people when we figure out they've done wrong, bad things, right? Why can't we give statues back when we figure out what they did wasn't that bad?
They're like, oh, all right, yeah, no, sure.
Yeah,
never mind. Oh, that's hilarious, Peach.
Yeah, that's just a little, it's just a little questioning of things, a little this or that, which leads us into our next segment called This or That.
Whoa! Okay, so Piché, explain to me more Piché-ness on this episode 50. What is this or that? Tell me and the people.
This or that is it's just we're going to talk about two things that are sort of similar, and I'm going to kind of ask you, which do you prefer, this or that? Pretty simple.
Okay, so two things, this or that. I think I can understand that. I think I got that.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a joke to be made here about it. This coming from my brain, so obviously it's got to be simple. I'll make that joke since you're not going to. Let's start off with a guy that we used to make a lot of jokes about.
Yes.
A guy that I called the Make-A-Wish Kid the first couple times I saw him, because I thought he looked out of place, like he had just come off a YMCA floor somewhere or bagging groceries and was like playing for the Lakers. But as it turns out, Austin Reeves is a pretty solid player. He definitely improved a lot probably over the season, maybe more so than any NBA player that I saw. Enough so that he's got his own shoe now.
Yes.
The Rigor AR1, aka Ice Cream.
The Rigor.
Yeah, Rigorer. It's a weird name for a shoe, but
yeah.
Ice Cream. I'm guessing probably vanilla. They think they're hinting at vanilla here. I'm just going based on the color of the shoe.
yeah. It's
White.
got maybe some light pastels in it. Yeah. Maybe like birthday cake or something.
All right, so that's this. There it is.
Yeah.
Now here's that. Here's three of the Judah shoes from J.I.'s line that we just talked about a while ago. Well, you kind of thought, you said, well, what are we talking about here? Well, here's what we're talking about. They look like a version of Jordans that came out a while ago, but instead of saying Jordan, it says Judah. So it looks like a knockoff Jordan. And there it is.
So now I have to choose which one I'd rather have.
Yeah. Do you want to idolize a basketball god or actual god? Is there a choice?
Wow. Okay. Austin Reeves, you went from Make-A-Wish Kid to basketball god. Austin, what a year. I do like I think I stylistically do like the ice cream shoe a little bit more, but I would definitely get those the white on grays, because you're right, the red and blacks look too much like a Jordan, so I wouldn't want that one, but I like the white. I can do.
The light blue one actually looks a lot like the Jordans that came in Carolina colors back in the day, which I used to get, so that's why it's kind of, they shouldn't have chose those two colorways for this particular item.
More magic. Have a magic
else,
color one. Why? Hey,
could have embraced this since you're trying to get a rub off it. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, obviously, this is a weird one here, but I would definitely go with the ice cream shoe. It's not a bad looking shoe. I mean, that thing's gonna get dirty in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
but it's good. It's got style, and I'll feel good about my purchase, I think, at the end. But on the 7th day, he created sneakers, so he forgot.
Oh shoot. That was a hilarious clickbait title by Deadspin. Not even clickbait, just a joke title and on the 7th day, Jonathan Isaac created sneakers. Wow.
Well, someone did, and then he just put his name on them.
Yeah.
All right, but let's move on. Let's go on to our second this or that. This is one of my favorite follows. NBA Paints. He likes to take logos and he kind of gives them a little redesign, which is always funny because if you've ever used the old Microsoft Paint, you're pretty limited. You don't have the skills of a Canva or some of the new things that you can do with
Photoshop, all that.
Photoshop is what I was looking for. Thank you. So he just kind of draws it out and explains what he's done. So I submit to you this, which is the Oklahoma City Thunder getting a remake. And I got to tell you, I love this. Yes. It's so much better. I've always disliked OKC's logo. It's very boring. It shows nothing of Thunder. It doesn't really feel like it represents them or their town in any way. It has nothing in there but the OKC initials to tell me what it is and who they are.
Yeah.
And this is much better. And as you can see, every time he does one, he'll then explain why the new one is better.
Right.
And here you can see that this one is buff as heck. When there is lightning, there is thunder, which is a fact. So why not put it out there? And scary and also menacing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like it.
It's a win, but that's this.
Okay.
And now here's that.
Which is?
As you can see, there was a recent rebranding done of Twitter, which means that there's no more twats and tweets to get from. So you can see it starts out as this logo, which is it's just an X, and he says it reminds me of my ex-girlfriend, and then he says it's boring, and then it says doesn't look like a bird, and then he's not sure why. So that's why it's not a good logo. And then as you can see here, he's rebranded it. And you can see why it looks familiar to me, but I think it's good because it's a household name. It's a bird,
right?
Birds tweet, which is brilliant. Birds are objectively spooky, great, and it's not just a letter. So big step up. So I mean, I like what he's done here, but I submit to you, which one's better, this or that?
So which upgrade do I like better? Do I like the Thunder logo upgraded or the Twitter? Is that supposed to be the this or that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, the X thing, I wasn't thinking about that. And then after I read it, it's just an X reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. Now I am gonna think about it, and it's gonna mess me up with the X. I don't know. I'm still going to twitter.com. I'm, what's gonna happen? I'm not giving you my banking information, Elon Musk. I'm not gonna do it, man. I'm not gonna do it, bro. So you can back the hell off.
The minute I saw that icon change to that X, I thought, is this a gentleman's club app that's somehow on my phone? I can't look at this at work. I can't be a part of this. Like, I don't understand why you'd take such a well-known brand and all of a sudden just say, yeah, fuck it, we don't need that. That'd be like if you and I bought the New York Yankees and changed their name to the baseball bats. It'd be like, well, yeah, sure, we can. It's our team. We can do what we want. But why, if you've already got one of the most popular names in social media history, why would you change it to just a letter and be bland like this when Twitter already, what are we doing here? I'm not using it for a while. I'm treating this one like the vaccine. I'm going to let everybody else experience it for a while, see how it goes first, make sure it's safe, and then maybe I'll go. But it's just weird to me. It seems shady. I don't get it. I mean, I like Elon, but this is a very strange, weird move that makes no sense to me.
I like it. I think we should buy the Yankees, and then we should name them 3. Just 3. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Second cousins, we need your help out there. Get on the Patreon. Right. Help us buy the Yankees.
Redesign the jerseys. Take the pinstripes off. Nobody likes those.
Yeah. We'll buy the Yankees, and we'll call them the Magic. No, the Orlando. Okay. What's the next one you got for me? Okay, so this is going through. So I guess I say I like the Thunder one better. Definitely, way better. Although I think the Thunder
logo. Yeah,
the Thunder should get involved with the Bison. That's what they mean when they talk about the Thunder. I assume. And there's a lot of tornadoes. I guess.
Their mascot's the Bison.
Right. Yeah. No, I want to see that in the logo. That'd be cool.
I'm with that. I agree.
All right. What's the next one, Piché?
Next one for this or that, I saw this thing on Locked On Pistons on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It popped up as a video I might enjoy watching.
Yeah.
And it says that ESPN thinks the Detroit Pistons will be the worst team in the NBA. And I was like, that don't seem right. So I clicked it, watched for a little while, and ESPN did say that. And then the guys at Locked On Pistons did a good job of explaining why they didn't think that was going to be true. And I'd have to concur. I don't think they're going to be the worst. I think they've got a new coach. They've got a lot of good young talent there. I think they can make a jump similar to like what we made last year, or maybe even better. Honestly, in the East, they might make the play-in. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. So I don't think they're going to be the worst team, but it made me wonder, who do you think could be the worst team?
Okay.
So I submit to you that this or that. Over here, we've got Hornets. And then over there, we've got the Spurs. Or do you think somebody else? I'll give you a this, that, or something else on this one. If you don't like one of those two options. But I feel like those are options that could be considered. Even though they got Wemby coming in, even if he makes them like 15 games better, that would still have them at 37 and 45. So, I mean, they'd still be a pretty bad team. Like,
Yeah.
There's not a lot else on that team. One guy doesn't carry in the NBA. We know.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit of a Detroit Pistons segment now. Nice. Welcome, Pistons fans. I like the core that the Pistons have, man. They are definitely a lot of their young guys were at summer league, so I got to see some of them live too. Um, they got Jalen Duren, they got Cade Cunningham coming back, which I think is going to be huge for them. Who was their big pick? Jaden Ivey. They picked up James Wiseman for not much from Golden State, and he's getting a second chance. Bogdanovic, Asar, who they drafted, who I really like. They just paid Beef Stew. They go pretty deep with young talent. I like what they have, and I do think Cade Cunningham is going to be a problem. So I think they're going to be better.
Plus, they got a coach that's trying to marry off his daughters. I mean, this seems like a win-win here for the Pistons. I think they're on the way up. So I don't think it's fair to think that they're going to be right there looking for the number one pick. I just feel like that's grossly off. But as we've seen from ESPN, thinking Bull is part of our core, and then part of the best lineup in Suns history or NBA history, that like they don't necessarily always know what they're talking about. And they just got rid of a lot of guys over at ESPN that did know what they were talking about. So who knows who's posting stuff for them now? But an unfair thing to put on the Pistons. I think they're going to have a big jump this year. I would go with the Hornets, I think, if I had to pick a team that I think could be the worst, with maybe the Spurs being right behind them.
Yeah, I think I would go. I offer you Wizards, Piché. I think they're going to be really bad this year. They got a lot of new pieces, and they're still really young. So we'll see. I think they're going to be potentially one of the worst teams in the NBA.
Yeah, you're good. And now I'm upset that I didn't select them for this or that, because I could have picked a nice picture of Gandalf to use for the Wizards here in this.
Wizards are awesome, but I think we should maybe play up the magic in some of our logos. I guess if you just consider, the stars as enough, how would the Paint Man NBA paints, would he incorporate some magic? I was thinking a little wizard hat on there, because wizards are badass.
I think he did. I think he did it, and it was a magic hat tipped over with like a bunny coming out of it or something.
Oh, well, I mean that's kind of pass. We don't like that. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't select it for this or that. I didn't think I had a chance to win. Our last this or that gets into the checkbooks.
Okay.
Money's been a little tight for both of us. I moved. You bought an engagement ring, so we're thinking about money with a little bit more attitude lately. And Jeff Weltgod comes in with one, and I'll tell you what, here's a serious one from Weltgod. He's not joking around this time. He's just being serious. He's putting it out there. He's saying Jaylen Brown making $304 million.
Yeah.
Every player on the Orlando Magic combined, $244 million. Who would you rather have? Is that a good use of the money, Jaylen Brown? That's on this side. You got any thoughts on this before we see that?
Well, they're both on the screen right now, because of the way that I pre-produced the show.
Okay. That part's not Piché, and I will not have it go on my good name. But it's over there, so we'll talk about it. Another way that money was used, maybe incorrectly, the Orlando Magic gave $50,000 to Never Back Down, the super PAC carrying Ron DeSantis' campaign for president. Obviously, a lot of people dislike Ron DeSantis. If you're not familiar with his work, I'd check out Florida sometime.
That's
good or bad. I'm just saying, there's some good stuff going on. Yeah, but it's not all him. Some of that was in place beforehand, but you have your own feelings. But to actually have the Orlando Magic name, giving that out to them, to me, I saw it and I thought, okay, they do business in this state. This guy's the governor. He's running for president. We got to give him something, right? Like it could have been bigger if they actually believed in him, maybe, or thought that it was going to go well. But they had to give something. I mean, I think it's like if they're handing the correct collection plate. I'll go back to church here because I know, we talked a little bit earlier, or I did. But if they're throwing the collection plate around, you got to put something in there. You can't just grab the basket and sit it down. I mean, if you only have a quarter on you got to put the quarter in. Don't you? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. So like the this or that is basically, what's the bigger waste of the money here? Is it the $304 million for Jaylen Brown, or is it the $50,000 to Ron DeSantis, which is probably a tax write-off?
It is not a tax write-off. Political contributions
Oh,
are not a tax write-off. I want to start with the Welt God thing and the Jaylen Brown thing because that's obviously a large sum of money to see out at once. And Welt God's playing around a little bit because this is over. That's over his 5-year contract. What is the number? 244 is the amount that we have on the salary this year. So it's comparing apples to oranges, but it is a big number to see. It's going to become more common though. The Jaylen Brown contract is something we have to get used to because we're going to be giving out something similar in a little while. Jaylen Brown though and the Boston Celtics, I know I compare us to the Celtics a lot, Piché, and while there are some, things that don't work with that comparison, they are just a little bit ahead of us. So you can see in some of the play and also in some of the contracts things that we're going to see soon. Jaylen Brown he's getting 35% of the salary cap for this new contract. That is the max extension, and that is because he was on an All-NBA team. He could have had 30, but because he got on that All-NBA team, now you can get 35%, which is normally reserved for players with 10 more years of experience. So that is why he can do that. And guess what? Paolo Banchero is probably going to do that. Franz Wagner could do that. So we're going to very soon, and I have an article coming out on Orlando Magic Daily. Shout out to Philip Rossman Reich. Yes, broke that news here right now. I'm happy to be writing for Orlando Magic Daily once in a while when I can. I'm putting out an article about Markelle and Cole's contract extensions. And we got Paulo and Franz are probably going to be 55% of our cap, and we got to get used to that type of number. So that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal.
yeah. I just think when you think about it, I do agree. Everything you're saying makes sense. Obviously, we have a lot of young players right now on their rookie contracts, which is why our squad's total salary doesn't amount to more. But to me, them bringing Jaylen Brown at that back is like, hey, man, how many times are you guys going to keep trying basically the same thing? I'm not despair. I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both fantastic players, but for whatever reason, their mix ain't working.
Well, they brought in Kristaps.
Right. So maybe I thought
they
were going to bring him in and then get rid of Jaylen, but they got the whole thing now. So I don't know how all those pieces are going to fit together. And they've obviously just decided, hey, this player's too good to let go, which makes sense. They're not going to replace him with anybody better, which also makes sense. But it seems like they've kind of painted themselves into the, I hope this works because this is all we got now. Like they put all their chips in with, 2 pair and someone probably has trips, but they're in there. They have to go. They're pot committed.
Yeah, it is a little bit of that. You got to hope that the guys that you're going to give these max extensions to are guys that can take your team to a championship. Because if not, you are kind of just saddled with them, and it's tough to get out of them. So, I think the thing that is more infuriating to me is the fact that Dan DeVos, I guess, the DeVos family, chose to use the Orlando Magic as the vehicle by which to donate $50,000 to a political campaign. Regardless of what political side you lean on, it is all BS. It's all, buying favors, buying access. And okay, if you're a businessman, you want to do that out of your own personal, totally fine. Go for it. That's your choice. It's your money. But why incorporate the team? This is a bad look of all the things that we've been doing over the past few years to build credibility within the league. Jeff Weltman and John Hammond did a fantastic job of doing that. I think treating guys with respect and doing right by players. Jamal Mosley as a player's coach clearly is respected around the league, got the USA, coaching gig. Now this, it's clear that the NBA Players Association isn't happy that they had to put out a memo to say this does not represent how we feel. This does not represent how we feel. And I agree to what they said. To use an organization, it kind of makes you complicit in a way. Like I'm a part of this organization and you just donated money on behalf of the organization, which I am a part of. So now you kind of included me unwillingly. And that is the owner's right to do, I guess, of the team, but it just seems like a silly move. it just
If
seems...
we cracked on JI for doing the same thing, and then you have to crack on the Magic here for being a part of that and tying themselves to this, which is why they had to release a statement to say something, because it was like, oh shit, and this is exactly what we were talking about. So like when you're part of a team or an organization, you got to keep your stuff separate, and then hopefully your stuff doesn't really interfere with that stuff back there. But to just go ahead and use the name, that's a bad one. So on this one, I've got to go. I can't believe that I would ever take Jaylen Brown at $304 million as anything that I selected over. But I'm going with this on that one. I can't agree with that.
Yeah, that was easy. All right, so
nice softball to close it out.
Yeah, that was cool. That was fun. Let us know. What do you think about this or that? Do you have suggestions for future ideas for this or that? Let us know how we could rock that segment out even better. That was cool, Piche. I dug it.
All right, now get your shovel out and dig through all those names as we head towards the large ending. But don't go anywhere because it's coming.
Yes, it is coming. Shout out to Magic Player History, Bolby the Don, Paolo and Franz's Warmth, Andy, Dylan Holden, Drum, Raph, Breadhead, Matthew Bell, Dan Young, Gloria and Damien, Yachty, and congratulations, Connor and Baylin. All right, Piche. It is that time. Oh, no, wait. You have something else. Yes. I was just scouring through the... I was just going through the slides, and I saw, oh, yes, we have something from Piche that I forgot.
Usually we ask for people to come through in the comments with something, and also as clear by the fact that you just gave me the complete reins of a segment called This or That I made up on my own. we need some things for the show. So I'm challenging everybody to come up with what's something you'd like to see us do over the course of the next 50 shows, or maybe the next 2 or 3 before the season starts. The best suggestion we see will win a prize pack, and we'll do it on the show, because why not?
Hell yeah, that'd be fun. Let's.
Usually we just get the Patreons involved, which is fair because they're paying a premium to be part of this thing. But now we're extending it to you. Let's have everybody get a part of this. Let's get a hand in here. Everybody hands in. Take a knee. Helmet's not a chair. And everybody just let's go. Let's buckle down. Come with the good ideas, and then they'll be part of the show. And you know what? If it's a good enough idea and you want to be part of the show, we'll have you on too. Why not?
Ooh.
If that's what the idea is.
If the idea is a game show that involves a third person of some sort, maybe.
Yeah, or it's like, I'm gonna come in dressed up as a fox, and but if the idea is good enough, then I'm all ears. I'll hear it.
Okay, all right, let's do it, Piche. Let's head into the large ending. Hit that music. Oh, all right, Piche. There is nothing going on right now. I'm starved for sports. I'm just like watching Formula One. And it got me to thinking, what's the best sporting event you think you've ever attended?
Without question, Final Four 2005. Not only the semifinal games, but the championship game, watching North Carolina win in St. Louis. Just to be a part of that, regardless of who you'd be rooting for, just to be a part of it. It's amazing. Definitely the best sporting event I've ever attended. What's your answer to this one, though?
Oh, man. I haven't been around at like a lot of like championships and stuff. I don't know. Probably I would have to go back and think about the times that the Magic whooped that ass in Boston, and I just got into it with a bunch of Bostonians while at games. But survived every time. Every fucking time. Yeah.
Hey, when's the NBA going to release their goddamn schedule?
I don't know. We need to figure out Court Cousins night, man. I got the ticket guy waiting. I want to know if we should do like a suite or do the seats again. It's gonna be fun. I
just want to know when they're making the Texas swing. I'm trying to go over to the AAC and watch them play the Mavs. Like I want to know, man.
Yeah.
Gotta figure this thing out. The NHL schedule's already out. It's been out for a while, so I know when I'm going to Stars games. Now I need to know when I'm getting to some Mavs games. So let's go.
Hopefully by next show.
Yeah. All right, you're up next.
I just talked about how I am in the sports desert a little bit right now because I don't watch baseball or soccer. So what have you been watching, Piche, without basketball?
I've been catching up on some stuff that I haven't seen in the past.
Okay.
I recently hooked up I've had HBO Max up for a while, but I've only watched Game of Thrones on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of going through there and like cycling. I just watched Barry from front to start. That was really good. I enjoyed that. I tried watching White Lotus. It's a garbage program. I don't know if anybody likes this.
It's sick.
Awful. I think I watched 4 or 5 episodes and was just like, I don't get it.
Amazing.
I don't like any of these characters. I don't give a fuck what happens to any of them. I do not know why anyone watches this show.
One of the best.
And there was no Aubrey Plaza. I was promised Plaza.
Season
and I went
2.
For her and she wasn't there. Well, I can't get that far because it's too shitty a show.
They stand alone. You don't need to watch one without.
Every time the MILF from that other Jennifer or whatever, every time she's on screen, hated her. I just wanted that segment to be over. I could not stand her character. Shut the fuck up. Put the ashes in there. Just enough already. I can't. The show is terrible, man. I just don't get it.
You're not gonna like. She's the only actor that stays for the next season. All right, continue.
I'm not gonna watch it. It's over. I watched 5 episodes. And I'm
all right.
done.
Will you be? Oh no, you're not. You're up next.
Yeah, I'm next now. So one of your favorite teams, we talked about a little bit earlier, the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Recently pulled off one of baseball's most amazing feats, and I give to you multiple choice.
Yeah. Okay.
On what those feats could be.
Okay.
Was it 2 cycles in one game? Was it a triple play? Or was it a perfect game?
I have no idea. Some days when you catch me, if I've like been sitting on the shitter and I've been scrolling through, I will read some Braves news, but I have no idea. So this is a complete guess. I think I would have probably heard about a perfect game. 2 guys with the cycle. That sounds like something the Braves would be doing. They smack teams. So let's say 2 guys with a cycle.
It was a triple play.
Damn it.
It's kind of a wild one.
Yeah. That was probably the most realistic. All right. Clearly, that's why I still give him 1 championship though, because some of my best buddies are Braves fans, so I want them to be happy. I'm excited for World Cup coming up soon. Some of the friendlies have already started. Piché, what are you thinking about Paolo's stat line?
I'm not.
Okay, but you have to. That's the whole thing. I just said you got to do it, so now you have to do it.
I'm not sure
how many points.
He's gonna be a starter, so I don't even know how many minutes he's gonna get.
8 points, 4 boards, 2 assists.
10? I don't know. Probably 10. It depends on who they're playing, I guess. Most teams are terrible, right? So
I guess that's the only thing. That's why I'm going so low. I just don't know how much playing time he's going to get.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's going to get for playing time. I know he's a younger guy, so if there's a pecking order, he's at the bottom. And I have no idea. I'll say 10 just because I feel like I give him 10, 5, and 5 if you're looking for holding me over the fire.
They're going to blow out some of these teams, so he's going to get some minutes.
All right. The football is back. The Hall of Fame game was last night. The Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. Well, guys that are trying to make their squad, really.
Right.
But football's back. Did you know, or was this the first time you're hearing it?
I did know, probably because they were playing the Jets, and I'm outside New York, so I listen to sports talk radio, so they can talk about that.
Yeah, they talked to Aaron Rodgers for a while on the side of that. I like how the large ending has basically become what don't you know about sports? What don't you know? What do you care about? What don't you care about?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we got to workshop it a little bit.
Well, there's no basketball to question or talk about other teams in the NBA.
Something quick.
It's a basketball show, so we had to dig a little deeper.
No, Hall of Fame. That's cool. I'm excited. It feels like fall in the air.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, less excited about the fall because that's the return to busier work times for you and I. Mm-hmm. But the one good thing about it is football.
And then basketball in the winter. Well, in October, basketball as well.
Yeah. Does the season start in November though? Usually?
No, October normally.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I thought it was preseason October. And then
no.
November,
God damn. Piché, we have a basketball podcast. It's called Court Cousins. Thank you, everyone, so much. We've done 50 episodes, Piché. I love you.
Hey, when the games start, I watch them. I don't know what time it starts. It goes too long, doesn't it? The season goes super long. So
we hope this episode wasn't too long. It's been 1 hour and 30 minutes. Recording. We love you, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. If you were started at episode 1 or if you're just coming on episode 50, so stoked to be sharing this time with you. It's a good time to be a Magic fan. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks for coming.